Hey guys, welcome to another recap. Excuse me, recap with Gino. We're gonna be talking some SmackDown from last Friday and some Raw from tonight with an amazing finish and a lot of twists and turns. And that was just Toddy. Toddy, come here. Everyone can see you. Guys, look, it's Toddy. The fans love Toddy. Toddy, come here. There you go, guys. Toddy, what do you think about the road to WrestleMania? Um, we're gonna start off some heartbreaking news here, as Kevin Owens is not only missed this year's WrestleMania. There's a very good chance he may miss next year's WrestleMania. He is going to return. It may be 12 to 15 months from now. Unfortunate. Um, yeah, it's if you're a fan of the dude, it's devastating like I am. And I like how everyone's called it a fake angle and all this bullshit, but then you actually see the pictures and there's actually nothing at all fake about it at all, one bit. He's actually had the surgery and he is headed to the IR for a long time, as we like to say. That was like to say we kicked off Raw finding out that Kevin Owens is going to be gone 10 or 12 to 15 months. And we also kicked off SmackDown. We also kicked off SmackDown showing Priest and McIntyre, Berto, um, Garza, Ray Phoenix, Santos Escobar, and Cody all backstage. So we're going to have Berto versus Ray Phoenix or later on in the night, and there's going to be some more seeds planted towards the disintegration of the Legado del Fantasma, which to be honest with you, did not realize was still a thing. I don't think it's going to last much longer. I think we're going to see, well, after Mania now, because the Mania match has been announced, we're going to get Berto and Andrade feuding with Garza and Santos Escobar, and I think we're actually going to see Garza turn on Santos Escobar. And it's going to be Andrade, Berto, and Garza forming some sort of faction, I believe. That's my theory. Like I said, the whole thing with SmackDown kicked off. We got the recap of Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, and the announcement that Kevin Owens is going to be gone 12 months to 15. And Randy Orton comes out and he wants to know who his opponent's going to be because he wants an opponent at Mania. This will be his 20th Mania, and he needs to be a part of it. He said he paid the $100,000 fine because he said even if it's Nick Aldis, he wants one person as his opponent at Mania. So Randy Orton is actually officially part of WrestleMania. They just haven't announced a man opponent yet, but 99.99% of it is making believe it is going to be Nick Aldis. There's another rumor. Few rumors I've heard that the Rusev, Rollins, or Black. Neither of those make any sense because there's no story with that. There's a history in the backstory with the Nick Aldis and Randy Orton due to the fact that Randy's paid 2 fines already. And I'm pretty sure if Randy doesn't get a match at WrestleMania, he's going to snap. Yes. So there's that. Um, the Bloodline also interferes during that, and Nick Aldis takes off. Kevin Owens is saved by, Randy Orton is saved by LA Knight, leading to a tag team match as the main event of that SmackDown, which would be Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa versus Randy Orton and LA Knight. We'll talk about that when we get to it. Then we had a women's gauntlet tag match. Bailey, Bianca Bailey, and Lila Valkyria, the very first team out. And the very first team they eliminate is Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, aka Pure Fusion Collective, or whatever they are calling themselves. After that, they eliminate Natalia and Maxine. After that, they eliminate a team that nobody knew actually still existed, Katana Chance and Katie Carter. And they were advertised for the show, but they actually weren't on it, which was Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. So I'm assuming they're waiting until after SmackDown to bring them up actually again. Out came next was excuse me guys. Piper Niven and Alba Fire, aka her Secret Hervis, and Bailey and Lyra Valkyria run the gauntlet, and probably one of the best gauntlet matches I've seen in a long time, start to finish. Every single part of that segment was absolutely brilliant. There's a little bit of glitch. Oh, sorry, Nietzsche and Beef Pepper also. And there's a few things that didn't connect and click, as you could tell, and I'm not going to talk about it now because it's a few days old, but it seemed clunky at parts, especially as few teams I think Viper, aka Piper Niven, mixed up. But it was overall a great match. And I think it's leading to a new angle here. I think we're gonna have Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark become the new right to center. Because I don't know if you guys have been following Zoe Stark's recent tweets on X or Threads, but she is centering everything that these girls are doing now, showing off their bodies and their butts, trying to say this is wrestling, not tripping. I believe it's going to be a new all female version of right to center, solely going off of what Mickey James had to do. And how cool would it be if Mickey James was a girl that comes back as a leader of this crew? She doesn't have to wrestle anymore, but she can be the leader. Following that, we actually had Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre coming out to talk about what they wanted for their Mania match. Before Damian Priest can even hit the ring, Drew McIntyre attacks and destroys Priest. Priest returns to the back, comes back after McIntyre cuts part of his promo. They start fighting again. And then let's just say the meme of all memes, if you guys haven't seen it yet, where Drew McIntyre drills Damian Priest with the Future Shock DDT onto the steel steps, and the way Damian Priest sells it is unbelievable. You got to check it out for yourself. I truly don't get the hate on Damian Priest. The dude is actually incredible talent, and I don't understand why so many people hate on. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I've been a fan of since he was Punishment Martinez and ROH, and I loved his gimmick originally when he was in NXT, and I like it even more now. Excuse me, guys. Bondage Undertaker, my ass. The guy's actually awesome, and she gets credit he deserves. Um, Following that, we actually have a segment between DIY, Pretty Deadly, and Motor City Machine Guns backstage, all talking about, well, let's leave it at this. We have this Carter Canasti, Tommaso Ciampa, and a conspiracy theory Raven, Johnny Gargano. The Pretty Deadly decided to take shots at him instead of Motor City Machine Guns. And the hilarious thing about this whole thing is WWE knows that nobody's going to give a shit about this tag match because, and it's unfortunate, the Street Profits. This match is actually happening this Friday and the Friday before, and WrestleMania. I feel sorry for the Machine Guns. They should have made a moment at some point, but they just their momentum is dead. And the Profits have had their moments, but I know nobody's connecting with the SmackDown tag team division because the WWE seems to be giving up on tag team wrestling. They're trying, but it's not working, female or male, in my opinion. Up next, we had Phoenix. Or sorry, we had Phoenix versus Berto, and this match was fire. And even before the match started, you knew Phoenix. This was the only bad part about this. This was way too predictable. You knew Phoenix wasn't going to lose a second match ever. Berto's a great person for Phoenix to go with because they're both incredibly talented, and Berto finally got to show how good he is. And for those of you who don't know, he's Humberto Carrillo from NXT, and he was great then. And him and Garza are an amazing tag team. Angel Garza. Um, Great back and forth action. Then Berto dominates most of the match. Ray Phoenix wins with a Mexican Muscle Buster. Excuse me, guys. I've said this now once, and I'll say it twice now. I think Ray Phoenix is better than Penta. My personal opinion, I could be wrong, I could be right. You let me know what you think. But I personally think Ray Phoenix, the presence isn't there like Penta's is, but in ring talent, he is better than his brother, I believe. And then we have Santos come out and him and Garza. Uh, this is where the teasing starts begins because they Garza just looks at Berto and Santos just shoves him to the ground, walks by and tries to shake Ray Phoenix's hand, talks to Seth Phoenix weirdly, and then raises his hand and walks right by Garza and Berto again. But Garza leaves with him. And then we have a person who should either be on WrestleMania or NXT Stand Deliverance. She's not on either for some weird reason. I believe she's getting called up the minute after WrestleMania is over. That being Roxanne Perez, she said that she should be the backup for the women's title match. Oh yes, sorry. Before this, we had a rather interesting segment in the back. Some people think it's real, some people think it's a shoot. Where Charlotte Flair beat the fuck out of Tiffany Stratton in the parking lot, and then it led to Roxanne Perez saying she could be the backup for Charlotte in the title match. Tiffany Stratton wanted to fight Roxanne that night. Great match. Roxanne Perez is so goddamn talented. I'm kind of glad the rest of these fans that never realized it before actually realizing how good this girl is. I've been a fan of her for a very, very, very long time. Before her NXT days, when she was in Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, and when she was in TNA and Ring of Honor, and a lot of various indie promotions, including Mission Pro Wrestling for a little bit with Thunder Rosa. The girl is so goddamn good. That's all I'm gonna say. And the fact, like, I think it was Wade Barrett that she was able to transform herself for that lovable baby face that everyone was taking advantage of, to this psychopath who thinks everything's owed to her and she's being vetted against and thinks she deserves things she's not entitled to. Great character transformation plays. Shows she can play both places perfectly. Like I said, she's going to be debuting very, very shortly in the near future in the main roster. But Tiffany wins that match, and then I think this is where it became shoot or work again, because instantly Charlotte Flair came out and threw Tiffany against the barrier, and then if you actually listen to her, she's throwing her and wedging her. She's screaming, "You ruined my fucking life," repeatedly. Throws her against the ring post and then throws her way too hard and way too high and way too fast over the announce table. And I believe this way Barrett legitimately says, "You got to stop or you're going to get fucking fired." You can read his lips when he says that to her. He's like, "I'm just watching out for you. You're going to get fired." We all know Charlotte's not getting fired anyways. WWE will never release Charlotte Flair. She's too talented. As much as people hate her. And she's an instant heat magnet like Dominic Mysterio style heat. We just know now WWE has to know that Charlotte Flair is never going to be a babyface. It's not possible for her to be a babyface. She has too much heat on her. Um, After that, we have a hype video for the favor that we're going to find out what Parliament owes Seth Rollins. We're going to talk about later on because that happened tonight on Raw, which may or may not be a funny story. Then we have Chelsea Green looking for her secret harvest backstage because they are apparently hurt and she has to go to the ring to fight Zelina Vega. And probably I think a few segments went a little too far. Long, I mean, because this is the most bizarre thing. Selena Vega hit a few moves. Chelsea had a move or two through Charlotte through Selena Vega back into the ring, and nobody even talked about a count out. Then all of a sudden, Chelsea Green got counted out, and I think everyone, including the referee, was confused. It was just another work shoot angle because Chelsea looked beyond confused. Selena Vega didn't think it was supposed to end like that because even after the referee had counted Chelsea out, Zelina still lay there like she's supposed to be pinned for another good 10, 15 seconds before she realized something had happened and she rolled out of the ring. And Chelsea was kneeling down like she was about to pin Zelina Vega. And the referee just randomly rang the bell. Like, I don't know if Chelsea just completely forgot the script or she's supposed to be that airhead that forgot that she was out of the ring and got counted out, or I don't know what happened here, but it looked like it was kind of an angle that went wrong, if that makes sense. And there was a way to get Zelina a win, I guess. But it fell flat with I think crowd and me personally. I think everyone's just confused with like what happened here, and this is where the seeds get planted with Legado de Fantasma again, as we once again have Umberto getting a strip ripped off him by Santos, claiming how Umberto said he could beat him, and actually Umberto said he could destroy Phoenixes in his league, blah blah blah, and all this other shit. And he said he'd be disappointed in himself. Him and Garza leave to go find Phoenix, and Andrade comes in and says the exact opposite to Berto, kind of planting those seeds that you should be trusting this dude. He's just trying to take advantage of you and your cousin and follow me. And maybe we're gonna see the new formation of a group, or maybe this is a tease and the whole time we're gonna get these four guys together and they're gonna be unstoppable. Maybe we'll have an LWO and then SmackDown, who knows? But it's a rather weird story that's hard to follow. We know it's not gonna be on Mania because it's too late for it to be on Mania. And it's not gonna be on SmackDown because it's too early to pull it off on SmackDown. So I guess we're gonna follow along and see what happens here. We also have night one and night two of WrestleMania announced. We'll be talking about that later in the week as I do my predictions, and I may or may not have my buddy call in to do predictions with me because he is dealing with illness right now. But there's a good chance he will be here for Mess of WrestleMania night one to go live with me along with a surprise guest. Um, then we had the tag team match. And there was a bit of a tease here that Randy Orton may be fighting Solo Sikoa because halfway through the match they just go off into the ground, beat each other, and Joe Tessitore talked about it history together, and Solo was the one guy who put Randy out for 18 months, and there's some unfinished business. As a wrestling fan, I hope to God this is not Randy Orton's match at WrestleMania, 20th match at WrestleMania. And that's no disrespect to Solo Sikoa, but Solo Sikoa is not a guy who should be in a WrestleMania event, sorry, not main event match, in a one-on-one match. Sorry, that's hard to say. Um, but LN8 beats Tomatonga, kind of predictable. Then gets destroyed by Jacob Fatu. I also forgot to mention we had a Cody Rhodes segment where he brought out every single one of the belts WWE's had and did a nice little rendition speech on each of them and talked about how he was fortunate to be the first member of his family to hold this belt and how it meant everything for his family to have this title. He even stopped and paused on the Cena spinner belt and said, "This is not what John thinks it is. It's not the cancer he thought it was going to be. This means something." It was transitionary. It was industry changing. It was actually a brilliant idea. He even talked about Bruno's blue belt and everything else like that. But you could tell there's passion in Cody's voice during this promo. It was a very good promo. But Cody's not walking out of WrestleMania 41 champion. I'll tell you that right now, guys. If you want to fight me, fight on the internet. I don't care. But I'm telling you right now that The Rock got a few stable coming, and there's going to be a stable that costs Cody Rhodes the belt. And that's how we and SmackDown this week. As it's a nice little seeds planted here and there. A couple things that are going to be going forward in the days after Mania, like I was saying, maybe months after Mania, maybe a few other things going on here, and a few matches will be teased that may, or a few teases that maybe have things happening at Mania. Um, Overall, it's a pretty good show. It wasn't the go home show. The go home show is next week, but we did have the go home show for Mania. It's on Raw today. And we're going to talk about that right now, guys. The show opens up. We see Jey Uso, Penta arriving, Balor, as well as CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and the rest of Judgment Day. And then we get a full recap of Jey Uso and the Gunther feud from last week and Jey Uso's fire promo. That's arguably probably one of my favorite promos I've heard of 2025. And then there's a tease that Gunther was going to be coming out later on to have an interview with Michael Cole, and Gunther comes out right away. And if Michael Cole gets one or two questions out, then Gunther cuts an absolutely fire promo talking about Jey Uso and how he's actually not afraid of Jey at all, and Jey should still be petrified of this version of Gunther and what he's done since that promo and what he did to his brother and how he enjoyed bathing in Jimmy's blood, sorry. And he'll be down to Jimmy's guy, or Jay's going to be the guy that takes the belt off in the Mania. And like I said, I'm a Jey Uso fan, but Jey Uso's not a world heavyweight champion style wrestler. He's a decent wrestler, but he's not a champion wrestler. And Gunther right now is 4-0 against them, and Gunther says he's about to go 5-0 against Jey. Then you know what? I hope there's gonna be a few false. Well, we'll talk about it when I do my predictions, but we'll see. I'm gonna leave it at that. Um, Following that, we actually had Liv versus Bailey, and this is a very good match. Kind of nice little teases and hints and seeds planted and stuff like that as well for the tag team match. Good back and forth action. Liv dominated portions of it with the help from Raquel, and you could tell that Lyra and Bailey were trying to be good teammates and help each other. Lyra was trying to help Bailey up, but they also kind of hinted that Bailey's still upset about not winning the Intercontinental title. But does Bailey need a tag team title? Does Lyra need two belts? I think one of them is going to cost the other one. We'll talk about the predictions, like I said, but this was a good match. The fact that Liv was able to dominate most of it, but still wearing that gear that Zoe Stark did not really care for, was kind of like leading into the angle. Excuse me, guys. The angle I was talking about, the right to censor thing. Um, Good match. Probably one of the better matches on the night. Probably one of the better matches in the last two shows that we've seen. Nice little tease where Raquel kind of messed up, but I think she messed up on purpose. And then the finish was interesting, as Raquel had booted Lyra Valkyria and then tried to get in the ring and help out with Bailey. Bailey takes out Raquel, and Liv ends up lining up for obliviation. Sorry, tried to say that 3 times fast. Lyra held on to Bailey. Bailey hit a surprise roll up for the win. So the fact that Bailey and Lyra went on Raw means Bailey and Lyra are not winning the tag team titles. What was that for that, guys? Let's take a look quickly here. We had a promo for Bianca Belair where she kind of hints towards the Jade and Naomi thing and how that's going to mess with her life a little bit, and she's to focus on this, and she's going to be the best wrestler in the world. It's a very good promo. And she talked about how she's going to win the title at Mania and therefore take it wherever she wants to go with it and defend it as much as she can because nobody can stop the EST. But I'm gonna leave it at that because I have a prediction show coming up later in the week. But I have a theory on this as well. Then we have a recap of Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk feud. The feud for this and the build has been absolutely incredible. I think personally, I don't know a lot of people are hating on it, saying it's dumb and it's too short of a program, but this has been going on for a year and a half. If you guys have been paying attention now, and the way it culminated later on in Raw, I absolutely loved every minute of it. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I'm hook, line, and sinker. I'm also going to say this, and I agree with Bubba Ray. I heard him earlier today on Busted Open Radio, and if you guys have a chance, check it out on Instagram. I'm now completely sold on the Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair feud. I don't know if it's personal, if it's real, if it's shoot, if it's a work, but from me not giving a damn about 3 weeks ago to me all of a sudden really want to see this match and see what's going to happen. Um, then we had we had El Grande, we had Rey Mysterio versus Julius Creed. Rey Mysterio wins in a very good match. Julius Creed is extremely talented. He's going to be He's going to be an intercontinental champion at some point. I don't think he'll ever be heavyweight champion. He'll be intercontinental champion. Brutus is just there. And I want to know what happened with Ivy now. She was contending for belt, and all of a sudden she does nothing but stand there. And where did Dakota Kai go? Sorry, random thoughts, but just random thoughts I was thinking about. Like, where is the rest of Damage Control? Like, is Dakota Kai injured again? They don't even announce these guys are part of Damage Control anymore. So is Damage Control even a thing anymore? I'm so confused there. But we'll talk about that later on. Um, it was Rey Mysterio versus Julius Creed. Like I said, very good match. After that, the entire LWO and American Made get kicked out. Then randomly, El Grando Americano comes out. He's hiding at ringside. Rey Mysterio beats Julius Creed, and he puts a piece of metal in his forehead, knocks out Rey Mysterio, takes out the rest of the WO, and then drills Rey Mysterio one more time and runs away. So we're getting Chad El Grando Americano Gable versus Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. I love it. I love every single thing about this feud. I think it's fucking hilarious. I think it's like Kurt Angle-esque, and Kurt Angle didn't get a chance to do this. And Chad Gable is very much Kurt Angle light. Then we had a very good New Day, War Raiders promo and a New Day reaction to it. And it just seemed like this feud just kind of ran really quickly and rushed to have some sort of a tag team match at WrestleMania for some sort of tag team title since the SmackDown ones aren't on Mania. I think WWE just realized that and they said, "Oh crap, we got to put something together." So we're getting this. I like both teams. I don't really care about the feud or the story or anything like that. So I don't know who's gonna win. I don't think it really matters either way who wins. Like my buddy Colin was saying, the tag team titles are kind of like on all three levels are kind of dead at the moment. I don't know if they can recover. Um, then we had AJ Styles versus Karrion Cross, and you knew the whole time that Karrion Cross was never going to win this match, but he got a lot of offense in. AJ Styles ends up winning this match, and then he takes 2-on-1 against Cross. And Logan Paul, was able to take out Karrion Cross, turns around, Logan Paul drills him, and then hits him with his what's called pulverizer, which is a very crazy finishing move that I actually really enjoyed. But Logan Paul brought in hell for all I care. The guy's a piece of shit human being. Um, we'll talk about that match when we get to it, but I truly, absolutely hope that AJ Styles is allowed to massacre this guy on TV because he's just a scumbag of a human being. Not just for the Prime thing and the scamming, but what he did in Japan. The guy is banned in 4 countries and still on the WWE roster. Just think about that. Then we had what's it called American Made come out. Chad Gable actually cuts a hilarious promo where he says it's kind of sad that Chad Gable is not allowed to be at WrestleMania, but he wishes El Grande Americano good luck and he'll see him from the stands because he'll be sitting front row. So WWE's gonna have to somehow try and pull this off and make us believe it's not Chad Gable. So you're gonna have to have a guy with the same sort of body type as Chad Gable wrestle Rey Mysterio and have Chad Gable sitting front row at the same time. It'd be interesting if they're able to do it. The only person I can think of is Tozawa. We'll see, but the only difference is Tozawa's Asian and Chad Gable's American. Chad Gable's white Tozawa is not. That's the only way they pull this off. You're fine, Johnny. Come here. We have Jey Uso come out and he gets a short but sweet promo, and he gets heated with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. Then we have a Braun Breaker promo, and he gets attacked by Judgment Day, so it's kind of planting further seeds that Judgment Day's kind of tease the breakup. Now they're a unit, so we'll see what happens there. I think the full breakup comes at WrestleMania for Judgment Day. Balor versus Penta is a match you can have at any pay-per-view, and they had it on Raw, and they got about 20-ish minutes to do this, and it was absolutely incredible match. Um, like I said, it's kind of not a surprise. Those are two of the best wrestlers in the world, and they absolutely tore the house down. We got a Rhea Ripley promo talking about everything she looks out for, everything she loves, and this is one thing she loves and she wants back, and she's going to go after it with all everything she's got. But she did it in a psychotic kind of way, so we're getting maybe the Eradicated back. So Rhea's definitely turned heel. Then we get a very, very sick, as in very good. Sure, guys, it's been a long couple of weeks here. Um, Io Sky promo, all in Japanese, and just talked about she needs respect and she's going to get that from me. I'm leaving that alone because I told you predictions are coming later in the week. And then we got the segment. And I can't do much justice talking about this segment, but Roman Reigns came out and talked about snakes in the grass and who is trusted, who is loyal, and who is not. The whole time he's running off Paul Heyman, and the emotions that Paul Heyman shows on his face are incredible. Paul Heyman gets all the accolades he should deserve, and he deserves them so rightfully. The man is absolutely incredible at what he's done, and the way he makes himself seem treacherous but loyal at the same time. And Roman Reigns is trying to figure out the whole time why this happened and why Paul Heyman decided to do this. And Seth Rollins' music comes out, he gets an insane pop. But I didn't realize it at first, and then I really realized it afterwards. He was actually, in a way, in leather clothes, wearing all shield gear. He had a black vest on, gloves, and black pants. I didn't realize it at first, and then after rethinking about it in my head, after I watched what happened at the end, he was dressed up in shield. So we're gonna have a recall halfway through this show. I talk about him and he absolutely just destroys Paul Heyman and explains perfectly to Roman Reigns what's going on. Roman Reigns is like, I believe you, but I made my choice too. Destroys Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins on the outside. Um, Roman Reigns pie faces Paul Heyman. CM Punk comes out. The two battle. CM Punk goes check on Heyman, and Roman Reigns destroys CM Punk. And then we had the callback. As Roman Reigns is standing over CM Punk, Seth Rollins comes out of nowhere and blasts him in the back. 10 years to the date where he did it the first time and destroyed the Shield. He destroys Roman Reigns, and Michael Cole calls it the Shield chair right away. He stumps CM Punk, he stumps Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman is stuck in the middle of both of them, crying and not knowing which one to go to. But you see Seth Rollins in the back is smiling and staring at Heyman. I'm telling you right now, you guys, I have a prediction, and it might not be a prediction, might not be an acknowledgement, it might not be a spoiler, but it's the truth. I think you guys are gonna have a little bit of shock what happens at the end of night one of WrestleMania. But we're gonna leave it there until I get to that prediction show in a few days here. All right, guys, I will talk to you later in the week, and I hope we enjoy this next 5 days before we get to Mania. All right, bye, guys.